Okay, I'm George Gross, and I'm here to give you the top 10 misconceptions of lightworkers. Okay, um, I'm just going to give you a backgrounder on this. Some of my other cosmic characters that actor Bobby Burrows has done have done very long videos on this topic, and they are on our YouTube channel, Infinite Bob 99. But they're very long videos, and we thought we would see if we could make one video with all these things without going on forever and ever. But if you want to watch the other ones for more detail, you're welcome to. But a lot of times you're tight for time, so we're going to try and do it all in one take. And I'm not going to tell you that this is like technical difficulties, unbelievable, and basically is like lack of memory on my phone, my SD card. So we just deleted a whole pile of stuff to free up some space. Okay, so let's see. My hat is Fatima, and it's only because it's kind of like the weird. Fatima was like they saw like a crowd of people or kids or I don't know. They saw like images of is it the Virgin Mary, Fatima in Portugal, and the pig is like well, if you want to go and, this is how they cut up a pig. So if you want to have your different cuts of pig, I don't know. It's just a T-shirt, okay? Don't read anything into it. You know, uh, you know, meat eating. Maybe that could be like a bonus one, okay? The bonus one, I'll give you the bonus one at the beginning, so I don't forget. Light workers have to be vegan. It's a misconception, just so you know. Why is that? Because I'm a light worker, and you have no idea the kind of stuff that I do. And I do eat meat. If you want to call me bad names, go ahead. But I do. And if you got the misconception that only vegans can do this, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Just what it is. And as for Fatima and I keep wanting to say fantasies of Fatima's fantasies is like going to see like what's the name of that Victoria's Secret, Fatima's fantasies and Victoria's Secret catalogs, something. It's just stuff I've got in my closet. And I have to wear something, and I like to go and get your interest and trying to wake you up a little bit. So here's your top 10 list, and okay, let's see. The first one I got here is light workers have to have infinite patience. No, no, you're human, and I know patience is a virtue, and you have to keep waiting and waiting for like you to walk through a portal or wake up someday and you're in some other version of Earth, or you're gonna something major is gonna change. You're gonna end up in like 4D Earth or 5D Earth or 12D Earth or something, and or it's gonna be no. I mean, if it happens, wonderful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, but don't put these things out there. Don't put these things out there that somehow, everything's going to, the world is weird for me. I'll tell you, the world is weird for me. It's not like it was before. But do I know what version of Earth I'm in? No. And my guides and I figured that we go through very, very many versions of the multiverse every day. So having infinite patience is like, do I get frustrated? Yes, I get frustrated, and what do I do about it? Well, this afternoon I got in the shower and I vented to God. I'm sorry, I did, and maybe light workers are not supposed to like vent to God. They're supposed to like hold it all inside and have infinite patience that the divinity will everything will happen in divine right time, and it will. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to feel terribly frustrated sometimes, and thinking, my God, I can't deal with any more 3D people. I've had too much of this, and all the ills of this society that we live in, and God knows I talk about them all the time, and I can't handle it anymore. But infinite patience is, you're human, so let it go. Okay, the second one I've got is called claridad, which is a Spanish word, and it comes from the metaphysical author Stuart Wilde. Claridad basically is the idea that you, as a light worker, are actually doing something. Strange but true. Things are being done. And if you think of yourself as an instrument for the spirit or the source fields, then the spirit and the source field are doing things through you. But don't take ownership of anything that you were doing. And I don't even, well, it might be a different reality box. Sometimes I might say that, but you know, a lot of times I say my body mind is doing things and concomitantly, in other words, at the same time as I'm doing things that appear to be physical, for example, talking or writing or driving or whatever, spiritual things are being done. Or things are being done. Things are being done. But claridad is when you are going around saying, I'm a magician and I'm doing magic. I am doing magic. I'm the next Harry Potter. And with my mind I am blowing up street poles. I had somebody tell me that one time. Somebody that was, you should see me. I'm in LA and I'm blowing up like transformers with my mind and stuff. It's like, now it may be that you're in some weird situation where you're seeing things like this, some weird world that you're in, some weird dream, and you might concomitantly to you, some idea pops in your mind. Oh, okay, I'm going to use my mind and I'm going to send out a mind beam, or maybe through my solar chakra, I'm going to go and send out some energy and I'm going to blow up a transformer, and lo and behold, something happens. That's a claridad, okay? Because it's you thinking that you are sending out thoughts or sending out energies from your solar plexus or something like that. No, no, I don't accept these things. These things are, they can be tools to help you play at being human and being a new age or a Hindu or something. But are they real? Don't bet on it. Don't bet on it. The spirit does everything. The spirit does everything, and you, at best, are a transparency for the spirit. Okay, and if you think that you're sending out thought waves or whatever, no, you're not. And if you are figuring that's the way it is, then I'm going to call you an egoic, prideful human that is taking ownership of the spirit. And that's not like work. That's not like working. That's black magic. Okay, so if you're a black magician, you're not a light worker, and maybe stick around and listen a little bit more. Anyway, a claridad is basically your idea that you are doing something in the world. You're not. You're just. I got to move along, but I'm just going to say that's a misconception, and you're going to have to let go of the idea that you are doing anything. If you think you're doing something, you're stuck in your ego. Okay? All right, the next one I had is kind of an oddball one, and it had to do with, well, the way I've got it written down is bell curving students. Okay, so this idea comes from in universities. When I went to university, you would write an exam, and some professors would take all the exam marks and put them on a bell curve, and so that they would get a certain number of A's, B's, C's, D's, and F's. And this is incorrect. This is poor teaching methodology. And I took some courses in adult education, and those teachers said bell curving is really bad for students because it's basically saying that a certain number of students have to fail in your class. It's a very it happens, and it happened. I don't know where they're still using this idea, but where it comes for you as a light worker is these ideas that people are putting out, that there are going to be some people that are going to ascend in harvest time, in Earth ascension, some people that are going to go to a parallel 3D Earth, and they're going to continue being 3D. Okay, that's what this means to me. It means that some people are not going to ascend. Now, I have had visions where everyone on the planet has it's like an after party after a movie. Okay, it's like a rap party, and everyone's there. Okay, so if you think somehow that there's some people that are not worth your time and attention because they're too 3D, and then God only knows I've experienced 3D people, and sometimes it's like I have to go away. But don't get in your stupid little noggin the idea that there's some people that are going to be 3D, and people tell me this all the time, YouTube videos all the time, and messengers and things, it's like, this is the way it's going to be. And, and some people say, oh, it's a really bad harvest. It's going to be a really bad harvest. And, like everything's being delayed. Oh, the event is being delayed because, they're trying to get more people to wake up or whatever. No, this is all stupid. It's stupid. There's no bell curving of the population. One spiritual teacher said that it's actually Gaia herself, the spirit of the planet, that's doing the heavy lifting. I'm not even going to go with that. I'm not even going to go with that. It's just I've got my vision, and everyone ascends. Okay, everyone ascends. So if you think I'm wrong, well, this is my top 10 list, and my top 10 list is no one gets left behind. No one's going to a 3D Earth or a parallel, some other 3D planet where they're going to go and continue to do 3D stuff. No, it ain't going to happen. So let's see. The next one is going to be copyright. If you are somebody who thinks that you need to put your name on everything and copyright it, and you have to have your file all your intellectual property with lawyers and the government and everything, and all of your music that you create has got to be copyright, and all your books have got to be copyright. This is a misperception, and it comes about from the idea that what Source has given to you is for you to make money with. No, it's incorrect. If Source gives you things to do, whether it's to talk about it, or to write about it, or to make videos about it, or sing about it, or create woodworking, or weave baskets, or whatever, let go of the idea of ownership. Okay? No, we're not going to have ownership. There's no more ownership of anything. And that means that people that think, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This planet is not to be owned. There's not going to be individual ownerships of plots of land or whatever. No, that's not the way it is. The old Guess Who song. The Guess Who was an old band from Canada, and they have a song called "Share the Land," and that's what it's about. It's all about sharing. Okay, so you're not owning things, and so if you think that you need to copyright things, and some spiritual teachers will get together and they'll start having a big war over this. It's like I gotta protect the stuff that's come through me. I don't want it distorted by all these other people or whatever. You gotta let go of it. Let go of it. It's not yours. It was, you are the instrument that Spirit used to produce whatever it is in this world that we've got. Okay, and now, in reality, what happens? Well, I mean, you have to work with what you've got, and if you're, you've got this book deal, and your book is going to be published, and part of it is the copyright. Don't be too concerned about it, okay? Because this is the world that we're living in, and it's transitional. So you're going to have to say, well, I have to do it this way. It's fine. It's fine. But in your heart and in your mind, just know that it's because of the world that we're coming from, that we're transitioning out of. And but the misconception is that it's going to always be this way. This is what we're changing in the world. We're changing all this old stupid stuff. This old stupid stuff where it's ended up being a monopoly, where you've got a fraction of a 1% of the population on the planet that owns everything. Okay? You know, the game Monopoly, Parker Brothers Monopoly, was created by a woman who wanted to show the world that monopoly doesn't work in business. It doesn't work for people. And, everyone knows that in Monopoly, one person wins and everyone else loses. So, what kind of world is that? That's just stupid. And people don't get it. Anyway, the next one I've got in here is capitalism itself. Okay, capitalism as a system. Um, um, it's it's the same thing as I said in the previous one. It's the idea that somehow all the ideas and all the work that I've done are for me. It's for me, and um, it's for me, and I'm going to use all of my talents in order to make money, and maybe I'm going to be a philanthropist at some point in time, and I'm going to give it all away or something. No, because it means that for all of your life you're still talking about making money. And then I've had some spiritual teachers that are saying, well, what we're going to do is we're going to, it's like the mastermind phenomenon. You get a group mind together to work together. Or I've even heard them say, we're going to bind minds together to work together to make money as capitalists. If you're binding people's minds together, that's a black magic. It's evil. Black magicians do that. Binding people's mind, binding spells, you know, getting other beings to be your slaves, or, oh my God, I wanted to barf. What does this person do? I mean, I talked to this person about it, and it's like, well, this is the way the world is, and maybe that'll happen in the next time. But right now, I have to play the game as it is, and it's capitalism. Sorry, I'm totally disgusted with this person. Um, but, it's my top 10 list. I'm saying capitalism has got to go. What else do I want to talk about capitalism? Um, okay, we've got a human family on this planet, and it's not even all humans. I mean, there's a lot of other beings on here, that are associated with planet Earth that people don't even, a lot of regular 3D people think are like mythological at best, like the fairy kingdoms, and, like all the sentient beings that are in the oceans, and, they get no credit whatsoever. And then you've got the capitalism. The capitalists want to, basically, they put land titles on every piece of land on the planet, um, and then they own it all. They've stolen planet Earth. Okay, if you are a capitalism kind of person, I'm sorry. What you have done is you've bound all these other people to your will, which is your egoic will. That they have to go and work for you in your corporations, and um, it's because they have to work for you because they have no money to pay for the rent for all the buildings that you own, or you're going to charge them rent. It's the company's store. It's a ancient system, and it all has to go. My next example is going to be if you are thinking about a grandmother and a grandchild. Does a grandmother charge the grandchild to be a grandmother to it? No, unless you're totally insane. So it's the same way. If you're treating everything as a human family, um, you're not going to charge other humans for stuff. So, and money, are we getting rid of money? Yes, we're getting rid of money. There's not going to be any money, and we're not going to have any bank accounts. And if you think, well, we're just going to go and be transhumanist, and we're going to have RFID chips in our hand, and we're just going to wave our hand across a scanner, and that's going to automatically take our money over a Bitcoin machine or something. No, no, it's stupid, and it's gone. It's all going. It's all going. We're not doing that. Sorry. So let's see. The next one I've got is called Pride, and it ties into these other things that I'm talking about. Pride. The misconception that lightworkers have is how do I want to word this? Pride. What is the sin of pride? The sin of pride is being an egoic person, okay? The egoic person is basically one that looks at this world, is born into this world, is conditioned to this world, and wants to go for a ride in this world as it is. So it brings about everything else to do with it used to be called the vices, okay? Primarily greed and power over others. And you heard the stories about the fall of Lemuria and Atlantis. It was about abuse of power. Abuse of power. And abuse of power is elitism, elite people, just putting themselves on thrones and saying, I'm God. I'm God. So what is the misconception that lightworkers might have about pride? Well, I don't know. I had something before when I did this previously, and I don't have too much more on this topic. It's kind of beat into a different horse, so maybe I'll move along from this one. If something comes back, I'll go back on pride. I was also talking about like the fall of Lucifer, okay? And some people say, well, Lucifer is the light bringer and he taught humans all kinds of good things. I'm going to use Lucifer in the original religious kind of way that he was the leader of the fallen angels. And what was it what was it all about? It was about pride. Lucifer refused God. He refused God. And he said, no, I'm not going to, I'm going to be my own God, and, I'm going to rule. So it's all about ego. It's all about ego. And, that was the fall of Lucifer. The fall of Muhammad. Muhammad fell too from higher states of consciousness. What was it? Well, jihad. Jihad was supposed to be about you letting go of your ego. And Muhammad took up the sword, and it was the idea, well, we're going to do a jihad, and it's going to go and find all the unbelievers and start chopping off their heads. So yeah, no. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. Sacred places and ley lines are always good for people. Good places for you. No. A lot of sacred places have been contaminated, and a lot of ley lines have been contaminated. Ley lines are, well, if you heard about acupuncture, you've got meridian energy lines on your body, and if you have problems with your meridians, you go and see an acupuncturist who will go and do some work on you. Shiatsu massage is another form of doing acupressure on your body. And by the same token, if you look up ley lines, Ley lines, you'll see all kinds of information on the internet about that. And so the idea is, like if I go to some place that I've heard is a sacred site, everything is going to be great. No, don't assume that. There's dark beings that have heard of these places, haven't gone and camped out there, and don't assume that these places are, clean and a place where you're going to feel good. Maybe you will, and it's fine, but don't assume that. So that's a misconception that something that's a sacred place or a ley line is always going to be good for you. What does that mean to you as a light worker? It gives you something to do, a place to go. And if you go there, then do your thing, do your light working. You know, um, how do I do it? Well, it's kind of another topic about what I do, but basically, I'm just going to move along, okay? Let's see. Next one is darkness is way more powerful than it is. It's the idea that we are half light and half dark. It's incorrect. It's people saying, okay, if you take the Tai Chi symbol, it's like the half white with a black dot in the middle, and then half black with a white dot in the middle, and it symbolizes good and evil. No, that's incorrect. That is totally wrong. If you want to get clarity on this issue, you need to go and look up the scale of consciousness and look up scale of consciousness and Dr. David R. Hawkins, Hawkins, not Stephen Hawking, the physicist. It's not the same guy. And in the scale of consciousness, the basic one that is used by Dr. Hawkins runs from 1 to 1,000. It's a logarithmic scale, so the higher you go on the scale, it doesn't just click up 1, 2, 3. I mean that at 2, it's like one more notch. Then it's a logarithm, so it means that it's like 10 times the power when you go up one more notch. And 1 on the scale would be the consciousness of an amoeba. 1,000 would be Jesus, Buddha, and other avatars. Everything below 200 on the scale is a negativity, and 200 and above is works towards positive. 540 on the scale is unconditional love, and higher numbers than that are higher states of enlightenment. Okay, so and so basically it means, and archangels are way off the scale. They might be like, I can't remember if it was like maybe 50,000 on this scale. Okay, so, or 500,000 is an inconceivable amount of energy. So if you're thinking that evil is just as powerful as good, it's incorrect. It's incorrect. So that's a terrible misconception. So just put it out of your head. Evil is not as strong as good. Let's see. The next one I've got is that light workers cannot be sexual beings. This comes about from a lot of different religious traditions, or Christian traditions, where you have to have monks that are celibate, or priests, or nuns. Or in Buddhism, there's certain monks that go around and are celibate, or Eastern things like you have to save your chi or something. No, these are misconceptions, and if you feel that way, it's incorrect. Okay, I'm going to move on. The next one is that Nasara or Jisara is a good thing for humanity. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Nasara was the National Economic Stabilization and Recovery Act. And then Jisara is like the one I heard recently in the past year or so. It's like the updated version of Nasara. And there was some idea that the American Congress had secretly passed this act, and it just had never been announced. And this is like more than a dozen years ago when I heard this Nasara thing. It's got a lot of problems with it. Number one, that they're talking about now, like cutting everybody a check for like $400,000. I mean, in my Instagram account, I've had people that say they belong to the Illuminati, and you want to join the Illuminati, we'll cut you a check for $500,000. So it's I can join the Illuminati and make 100,000 more. It's stupid. Well, I mean, economically, $400,000 is not very much money. I'm sorry. I mean, if you've got nothing your way in debt, you think it's a lot of money, but it's not. It's not. It's not enough money. Even if everyone gets that much money, it's going to cause incredible inflation on the planet. And the last bit is that the one percenters are still going to have way, way more money than all of you. So it's not going to change anything. It's stupid. It's stupid, stupid, stupid. And then the next point I want to make is that it's not even in the vision that I'm given that we're going to be using money. Capitalists have stolen the planet using money. It's a very old system, Babylonian money magic, and some of you might have heard this term used by people like Corey Good. It's a method to control, and it's a very old method. It goes back ancient history, and it's basically people who have money and the lands and they own everything, use it to control others. And instead of you using your own things that come from within, the things that you feel like this is what I want to do, you can't. You can't because you live in a society that's controlled by money. So you have to go and get a job working for somebody else, and it's not spiritual. And there's some people that are say they're spiritual teachers, and we're going to teach light workers how to make money. No, no, it's stupid. And if you're signing up for these courses, I'm sorry, it might be making money. It might make you connections, but this is how the Illuminati works. The Illuminati works by, you go and, Dragon's Den on television, or what's the other version of Dragon's Den? Basically, where you go and you sell your ideas to a middleman who's got a Rolodex of all the other rich people, and they're all going to help you get all your products into Walmart. No, I'm sorry. This is incorrect. This is the old way of doing things. It is not a spiritual thing. It is black magic, because taking you're taking everything. You're stealing everything that Source has given humanity, and you're stealing it all and putting it all in your bank account, so that everything that comes, you're getting a piece of the action. You wonder why prices are so high? It's by design. It's by design by the people who have everything. They're incredibly greedy people, incredibly egoic people, service to self people. Don't follow their path. Don't follow their path. What are you going to rely on? You have to let go of this idea that you have, only this lifetime. That's a very 3D thing. Most of you have gotten the idea that you're eternal beings, but some people say, well, I still have to have my cake while I'm here on Earth, and I've got to have my trips, and I got to have my fine wines, and I got to have my business with all my employees, and I've got to have a nice house and my car and my boat, and I got to be respectable, and no. And then I'm going to be a philanthropist and get my name on some wing of a hospital or something. I'm going to give it all away. No, 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 don't go down. Don't go down there. No, it's a terrible trap, spiritual trap. Don't do it. What you're going to do is you're going to rely on Divine Mother to look after you. And the example I'll give you is from Paramahansa Yogananda's book, Autobiography of a Yogi, where there were two boys, one boy who knew about Divine Mother and another one that doubted. And they went off on a trip to another city with no money. And the skeptic was proved wrong. Divine Mother looked after them for the whole trip, and they had no problem whatsoever. And that's what you're going to rely on. Doesn't mean you're going to get what you want. What you want is ego. But what you need is what Divine Mother will provide you. And, that's letting go. Letting go of the need to control outcomes. It's a huge spiritual thing that you got to do. Let go of outcomes. Let go of planning. If you are part of this capitals thing, it's all about planning. Long range planning, like 3-month planning, 6-month, 5-year plans. Planning, 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 planning. You got to let go of this whole mindset about planning for anything. Don't even plan for what you're going to have tomorrow for dinner. Don't. What you do is you let go of the planning, you let go of all of that stuff. And what are you going to open yourself up to? Synchronicity and serendipity. Okay, Do I have anything else? Well, I still kind of had something to do with pride. What else do I want to talk about pride for? Misconceptions people have about pride. Well, the opposite might be, that you should have no pride in yourself whatsoever because pride is a sin. That's a different kind of pride. I mean, that's the problem with a lot of English words is that they have multiple meanings. And, it's like a parent having, I'm proud of my child because they're being the kind of person that I want them to be. Well, that kind of being proud of someone is, that's not wrong. So maybe that brings into the misconception that, you can put, I mean, the words are very difficult with humans. Very, very difficult. And as we get to the point where everything comes to you that you're meant to have by synchronicity and serendipity, and you develop telepathy, words become. I've got telepathy with my guides, right? And a lot of times we're all saying, it's too many words, it's too many words, it's too many words. It's just human words have got too many meanings to them, and you can get caught up in words, and then it gets harder and harder to read things, like to try and read a book, because to try and get what is the essence of the book through words, it becomes harder and harder and harder to do it. I don't read books anymore. Sometimes even things like social media or something like little blurbs, and I have to move off it. I can't do it. It's so that's where I'm going to give you the pointer. The pointer is that we're moving away from using words. We're moving away from using words altogether. Okay, so that's your top 10 list of misconceptions for lightworkers. On my YouTube channel, Infinite Bob 99, I've done like my first few takes of this, and they became very, very long lectures. If you want to watch them, they're there. But, this was sort of the simplified version. So, and I got this idea from the YouTube channel Higher Self, where in one of the videos they said that this would be a good thing to do, top 10 misconceptions of lightworkers. So here it is. And the other thing that they said in that video is one of the things that lightworkers can be is comics. And I do a lot of social commentary on my YouTube channel, and I do a lot of I call myself a comic on this thing because I do so many different cosmic characters that come through. So it also keeps me out of trouble so that you don't take me too seriously. I don't want you to take me totally seriously. Like a lot of the stuff, it's look at it, and some things you might laugh at, and I kind of want you to laugh, edutainment. But just because I'm playing a character on my channel doesn't mean that's the way I feel inside. Often I'll play characters that are they're completely different personalities, and some of the things that come out of my mouth when I'm playing these different characters, I go, oh my God, I can't believe that I just said that. So being an actor. Thank you for watching, and if you want to see more of my stuff on Instagram, I'm Burrows Bobby, BurrowsBobby, and on YouTube I'm Infinite Bob 99.